Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous episode 128. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host,
Mr. Dane frickin' Cody.
Mr. Dane Cody and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. Mostly video games, and to be quite honest, we've actually barely talked about any movies or TV lately.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because we've been playing fucking video games.
This is true. We're in the middle of the frickin' hurricane right now.
Blown.
So we're recording a day late. Sorry, everybody. But
that's on me. I was really not feeling well yesterday.
It's all good. A day late is better than no day at all. What?
I don't feel awesome today, but I feel better than I did yesterday. So yeah, that's what matters.
I feel pretty rad. I've been up since 4 a.m, so
yeah.
You feel better, and I feel like the little one.
I said I feel better compared to yesterday. I didn't say I feel good.
Okay. Well, I definitely don't feel good. The little one was up last night.
Ooh.
And didn't want to go to bed.
Oh, yeah. You're in that stage, eh?
No, well, actually, we're past that stage because she's like, what? How old is she now?
I don't know. She's your kid.
Hold on.
You don't even know how old your kid is. What kind of dad you are.
No, the months.
Jeez.
She's 16 months. She's about to turn 17 months old. I had to do the math. She was 15.
Are you going to be one of those people that's like, oh, she's 6.5?
No. But just, it's more, you don't understand, but that's more important at this age because it's literally like month to month. They change so much, right?
Hey, man, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Obviously. Because obviously as they get older, those changes are less frequent, right? But literally like on a weekly basis, she's doing something new. She's talking like so much more. She's coming up with some crazy words. It's pretty awesome seeing her become her own little person.
So what you're saying is she's growing up.
Yeah. It's
wow.
Crazy, eh?
You just blew my mind.
So she used to wake up multiple times a night for milk, right? She was hungry.
Yes.
I think she only slept through the night like a couple times in the first year. But it's like not like up screaming. It's like up milk, and then she goes right back to bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a little harder than on me. Now, actually, it's funny. I don't know if I told this story on the show. I don't think so. But ever since I went to PAX, she's sleeping through the night.
Wow.
That PAX weekend, she started sleeping through the night, which is hilarious.
It's because you weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't. My snoring wasn't waking her up.
Exactly.
From the room. But yeah. She sleeps through the night, but then she has the odd, kind of seems like maybe once a week, probably even less than that, maybe once every 2 weeks. She's got is she going to wake up in the middle of the night and refuse to go to bed? And that was last night, but I did manage to get her back to sleep, but it took like an hour, and in the middle of the night, I think it was almost 5 or 6 when I got her back to sleep, and it's like, I'm just going to stay up.
Play video games.
That's exactly what I did. There was no point freaking going back to bed at that point. I'm like, I can get a good hour and a half before work, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, sorry about the tangent. Usually, we start the show with what you've been playing, get into some news and stuff, public service announcements, and our free-for-all section, which is empty. I got nothing. But we have some news. We got a whole lot of games to talk about. But of course, before we even get into any of that, our designated drinking section. Because you can't be a geekaholic without being an alcoholic. Dane.
Yes?
What are you drinking?
I'm actually drinking tea tonight.
Oh, that's
because
really...
I'm trying to get better. I know.
That's really funny.
I know.
Because guess what?
What are you drinking, Rick?
I'm also drinking tea.
Oh, look at that. It is the tea cast.
Isn't that funny?
We get together and drink tea.
That's what happens when you don't feel very good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just nice. It's like a warm blanket. It kind of like just hugs you.
Oh, what kind of tea are you drinking?
Echinacea tea.
Oh. Drinking rooibos tea.
I was feeling kind of So I didn't want to, because I don't know, it always seems like when you get like a sleepless night and you're like worn down, that's when shit comes out of the woodwork and like, hey, fucker, you're weak. You're going to be sick now.
Yep.
I was like, hello, where did you go?
No, I'm still here. Still here. Not getting sick. So yeah, we're just recuperating still from yesterday.
Nice.
I mean, I worked today, but I deked out a little early and just came home and had a nap in the afternoon because I was just feeling like utterly kind of exhausted and just like, you know, like it's not full on like where you felt like you needed to stay home all day, but you also like just needed that afternoon nap because I was almost worried that I was going to be worse tomorrow. So I'm feeling much better now again. So hopefully after another full night of sleep, I'll be back and feeling much better tomorrow. So that's the plan anyways.
I was pretty happy because every time I have like a rough night, because the little one, I usually have a hard day at work the next day.
Oh, really?
And thankfully today I had an easy day. And actually I have tomorrow off. Woo-hoo. Long weekend.
Well, aren't you an a-hole?
I know, it's kind of random. We have PD days, like paid days off.
Oh,
they're not sick days, but they're not vacation time.
PTO, man, paid time off.
And I didn't think I had any left, but my boss emailed like everyone on our team was like, "Hey, you guys have time off? Use it, or you're gonna get paid out at the end of the year. But work prefers you take it off."
Oh man, at least they'll pay you out. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So I guess if you want even more money in your pocket, I guess you get paid out. But he sent that email. I'm like, hey, you know what? I kind of want Friday off because there's a million video freaking games to play.
Yeah, there is. Oh my god, so many video games.
So I took it off. Sweet. I still have a couple more, and I'm like, I'm gonna probably have a couple more long weekends this month. I was contemplating taking off the 7th for the Xbox One X, but I'm like, that's a Tuesday, so it doesn't give me a long weekend.
Right. No, that's fair. Well, but, lucky for you, dude.
I guess we can get right into it, Dane. What you been playing?
Oh, man, I've been playing all the games. I've been playing no, not all the games, but I have been playing quite a few games, actually.
I've been playing so many games. So,
obviously, we, Destiny 2 came out this week.
On PC?
Yes, on PC. The only platform that matters, really.
Do you want to talk about that now, or you want to talk about it at the end?
Oh, well, I was laying the groundwork, man. Come on, don't rush me.
Okay.
I'm setting it up. So obviously that came out this week on Tuesday. Also, you and I were lucky enough to get Assassin's Creed Origins early. And now that the embargo is up this morning, we were actually allowed to talk about it, which is also cool.
Well, and by the time this podcast goes out, it'll be out to everyone, but...
Yeah, which is super sweet. And I played, because both of those things came out this week, and I had a bunch of time last weekend to play video games, I played a shit ton of Warframe. I think my last I checked, I think I was around 12 hours in Warframe. Most of that from last weekend. So I've kind of gathered a lot more of what that game is about. Destiny in space is in a lot of ways not too far off. If you're kind of looking,
some people have compared it to Destiny, or that they've taken some Destiny elements in Warframe.
I think definitely, yeah. I mean, Warframe's been out for a long time, long before Destiny was even a thing, right? I've unlocked.
That's true. Warframe was a launch game on the PS4.
Yeah, no, it's been out for several years now. So now that I've sort of unlocked now I've actually unlocked my third world. So you start off on Earth, and by Earth I mean Earth and around Earth and in space and other stuff.
Sorry, my phone was clearly not on mute.
Clearly not. And so I've unlocked 2 other planets now, which is pretty cool. So I can fly to those planets and do missions on there. There's all kind. That's the one thing I got to say. There's all kinds of different missions in that game, ranging from like sort of capture and hold to sort of domination style, where you got to capture and hold various points in a map. There's also maps where you have to like deke in super stealthy and steal some data. Those are like spy missions, so you kind of don't want to get seen. Some missions are just assassination missions where you gotta roll in and kill some dude or a couple of dudes. There's a lot of different variety. And what I'm actually finally sort of starting to realize is that there's multiple levels. And that's where things were initially really tripping me up. I was trying to get a hold of or wrap my head around. So enemies have levels in that game, but that level doesn't really tell you how strong they are, if that makes any sense. It's really weird. So I was in an area I went into an area, and the guys were, I don't even remember what they were. And I'm like, my Tenno or my Warframe is like almost level 30 now. I'm at, which is the cap. So I think I'm 26. So my Warframe's level 26. And then, so essentially everything in that game levels. So when you get a Warframe, you level up that Warframe to level 30. When you unlock a weapon, you actually play that weapon and it gains experience and you actually level up that weapon. So if it's your sword or your axe or whatever, they actually have levels up to level 30. So all of your weapons can actually go up to level 30 as well.
It's ranged and melee, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it just depends on the Warframe.
Yeah, usually you have both. Usually you have a gun and an axe or a sword or scythes are weapons. Some of them have daggers. You have one melee weapon all the time.
And it's all third person, right?
Yep.
That's right.
And so yeah, so I was level 20 something like that, and I'm fighting enemies that are between level 10 and level, I don't know, maybe 15 right now. And enemies that are getting into like level 15 and a little higher are very difficult for me.
Even though
I was getting very confused. Well, that's the thing. Is like, so there's mastery levels, which are so that's kind of their way of making sure that you've gained enough experience before you buy a bunch of really cool weapons. So what they do is you can buy or build weapons in the game. Doing missions and stuff, you'll get blueprints. Then when you get enough resources for those blueprints, you can actually build them. So then obviously it doesn't cost you any money or in-game currency or real money for that matter to create weapons. Or you can either buy them in the store using in-game currency, or you can buy I think it's like platinum or whatever they call it, and you can buy them that way as well.
That's the real money shit.
Yeah, you pay real money for platinum, and you can use it. And then the thing is like, so if you're building these things, it will actually take time because you essentially have a 3D printer on your ship. It will actually take time, and we're talking real world time, to build your weapons. So I unlocked a companion that was like a little bit, strangely enough, a little bit like Destiny's Ghosts, but it actually attacks and helps you in maps. It doesn't really talk to you and stuff. It essentially flies around with you, attacks enemies, or puts a shield on you. It kind of helps with all that kind of stuff. But it took 24 hours to build. And I'm talking 24 real hours.
Or you could have paid money.
you can speed it up using real money if you choose. I mean, I personally don't see a point.
No.
So I've built a couple of things. One of them took 24 hours. One of them took 12 hours. So I've been learning those systems, and I've beginning to realize that the enemies have levels, but just because your Warframe is a certain level doesn't really give you a real idea of whether or not you're going to actually be able to take those enemies on. And then there's also a mastery level, which is almost like account based, where because you can actually have multiple Warframes and they could all in theory be level 30, they've added mastery levels. And when you...
So that's like Prestige in Diablo, where it's like you keep leveling up above the cap and still get stat boosts?
Kind of, but not at all.
Okay.
It's like an account level. So in order to unlock certain weapons in the game that you can actually use, you have to have a certain mastery level. And it's kind of a way that they gate some of the better weapons in the game. You have to play more and get higher mastery level. And every time you have enough experience to take on... when you have enough experience to get, for me, it was mastery level 1, they tell you have enough experience. But instead of just like, hey, congratulations, you're mastery level 1, you actually have to go and there's a situation. So the first one that I did, I had to take on 3 waves of enemies by myself in like a simulator with my main weapon. And I wasn't allowed to use any of my side weapons, any of my abilities. It was just my main assault rifle, and I had to take out 3 waves of enemies. And then when I went for my mastery level 2, I only was able to use my pistol. So I had to do a similar thing. It's like you're in a simulator and there's like waves of enemies that come at you from all different directions, and you have to try and take them all out before they kill you with just your pistol. No abilities, no nothing, just your pistol. Which is really cool. And I get the feeling that some of those are rather difficult because you're only allowed to try them once every 24 hours. So if you fail, you can try and come back later, but it's on a timer, so you can only do it once every 24 hours. So, I mean, it's, there are those obviously free-to-play hooks that are kind of in there. And I mean, I get it. They have to try and make money somehow, right? But I didn't ever personally feel like at any point that it was holding me back by any of those. Like, I felt like there was more than enough content, and I never felt like they were gating any of the content based on, oh, you need to pay us money because you can't go here, you can't do that thing. So, and there's
the paying money out aspect of it all seems to be like fast forward on timers.
Kind of, yeah. So it's a lot more stuff like that. Totally. So I've been more or less for the most part ignoring it. Because I'm an Amazon Prime member. Because I'm an Amazon Prime member, I got a free Warframe, a free assault rifle, and a free axe, like a big honking battle axe. So I've actually been using those in the game and I'm almost, like I said, almost leveled up. So now I'm essentially have 2 Warframes. So if I want, I could go back to my original one and level it up. Like, there's a ton of Warframes.
Warframes almost play like a different class.
Totally, absolutely. They all have different like weapon or abilities and stuff. So, for example, I unlocked the Frost Prime Warframe, which is like a slightly better version of the Frost Warframe, and it looks kind of cool. It looks a little different and kind of really neat. And it has slightly different abilities than the Frost Warframe in the game as well. And so the Frost abilities, it's got one of the abilities is like you shoot, it's like an ice bolt out of your hand and it freezes the enemy. You have another one that is almost like, they call it the snow globe, where it's really good for defensive maps because you can run over whatever you're trying to defend and you drop one of these snow globes on it. And when the enemies enter the snow globe, it slows them down and actually slowly damages them as well. And it's kind of like a big shield. So it's really cool. So you can keep popping those over the like defensive stuff, whatever you've got going on. And then there's another ability that it sends out like a wave of like ice in front of you with like these giant spikes that come up out of the ground to like hit enemies in kind of like a line in front of you. And then the ultimate is called Avalanche, and it essentially in all areas around you sends out like these huge like waves of cold damage essentially that like hurts and hopefully kills enemies all around you. So really good for, again, those defensive type maps where, you know, if you're getting overrun by enemies, you can kind of pop one of those and help clear off like what's going on, right? Kind of catch a breath. So it's really cool in that regard. But like the original one that I had was called Excalibur, and his abilities are completely different. They're all they're not really sort of magic based. They're much more, this is my, I'm trying to even remember now. It's been a while since I played as him. But they're very different, and they feel very different. There's electricity. There's like some of the Warframes have electricity. Some of them have fire. Some of them have just nothing. Some of them are more stealth based. So you end up having like, you can actually go like full, like invisible and different things like that. Some of them are more tanky. So they're, you know, much higher hit points, more designed for defensive and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's very much their classes are which Warframes are you using. Some Warframes have like heal abilities. So some are more like that. It's really cool. And I'm also getting a much better idea of what I was a little bit confused as to like where I'm going and what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. And it's all kind of, you know, it was a little like they could definitely do with a little bit better hand holding off the bat, especially once they kind of get past that initial stage where they're really holding your hand, and they're kind of, once they kind of get past that first sort of quasi boss that you take on or whatever, and they're like, all right, here you go, this is the game now. They could do a little bit better job of sort of like, okay, well, this is this and that is that. But now that I've been playing it a bit more, I'm kind of, you know, learning it for myself, and it's not overly confusing.
So you haven't beaten the game, right?
I don't even know.
Like, is it a campaign you're playing through?
There's,
or are they like
so there's quests that
levels?
So the levels themselves are randomly generated. At least aspects of them are. Certain levels, not so much, because certain levels are, like I said, they're like wave-based defense maps where you're defending a certain area and then enemies come in waves and you're just essentially defending against those waves. So those ones don't really change. Although sometimes the enemies will change, so sometimes they'll get really difficult. So that's the other thing, is there's the regular map, like there's regular maps that you can jump into, and the one will be like, this is a spy mission, or this is a sabotage, or this is an assassination, or whatever. And that one will always be a sabotage, or always be an assassination, or always be whatever. Mm-hmm. But the map changes randomly every time you play it. So it kind of keeps it fresh, which is cool. Also, the quest maps. So you take on quests. You start the game off initially with a quest, and you finish that, and then they kind of allow you to sort of free reign for a bit on Earth and do a bunch of stuff and kind of have fun. And then by the time I got into the second and the third planets is when they started giving me more quests, and I saw them popping up, and they're like, hey, here's a quest, go, you know, you can, and so you can choose that quest. And once you do that, it actually pops up on your map as like, this is a quest one now. And when you do the quests, as far as I'm aware, the quest maps are at least partially a little bit more, I don't think they're completely random. They might be like leading up to certain things might be random, but it's essentially like the end part and the beginning and stuff aren't. So it kind of keeps it, you know, so that they can at least know that you're getting what you need to, and that the quest map itself is working properly and stuff. And then usually they're like quest lines. So you'll have like one. It's a little bit like in Destiny when you take on a quest from somebody and there's like multiple parts of it. So you're like, okay, well here I'm going to go there, I'm going to do that thing, and then once I finish that, then I'm going to go over to this other, this other map, and I'm going to do this other thing over here, and then I'm going to, so there's like multiple pieces to them. And some of them will have, you have to finish a certain quest line before you can take on the other quest line. Stuff like that.
What a bad week for you to get into this game.
I know, it's brutal. It's so brutal.
It sounds cool. Like I want to play it, but to be honest,
it's really neat. I know.
Like,
with so much stuff out there right now, it's brutal.
It's at the bottom of the pile.
Dude, I know. It was like I said, I had that Destiny sort of scratch that I wanted to
that's
scratch.
Right. You didn't. I already got to scratch that. So
exactly, and I was like, it's free. Destiny comes out next week. It'll be fine. I'll do this. It'll be great. And you know what? It's just different enough that I may or may not have played them both a bit this week.
That's funny.
Because that's the one thing I'll say about Warframe is it's so easy to jump in. And most of the missions and most of the stuff that you're doing don't take a ton of time. So you can kind of jump in, do a mission or two. It's probably going to take you maybe a half an hour to do like a couple missions. Most missions only go like, 5-10 minutes. So it's not like you're spending a ton of time in them. So you can easily jump in, do a couple missions, jump out, and carry on with your day. It's not a big deal. So it's really good for stuff like that. And you don't feel like you need I need 6 hours to sit down and get into this thing. So that's really nice. There's bonuses, obviously, if you log in, and the more days you play, the more login bonuses you get and stuff like that, which is kind of cool as well. I don't believe it has to be in a row. It's just total, which is kind of nice.
I've heard good things about this game. It's pretty cool that you like it.
Yeah, man. If you're on the fence, I'm not necessarily you in particular, because obviously we both have a bajillion things to play. But if you've ever been kind of curious about that game,
PC, you got it through Steam, and then it's been on Xbox One and PS4 for a couple of years now.
Totally. But the game that I played when it came out on
totally
PS4, it's completely different. I couldn't believe how different the beginning and stuff was.
They had a huge booth at PAX.
Yeah, and they just released what they're calling the Plains of Eidolon, and it's a huge open world area, similar actually to that one. Actually, is the most similar to Destiny. It's a huge open world area with multiple, similar to the European Dead Zone or something like that in Destiny. It's that big open area where there's multiple missions that you can kind of do in there, things like that. And they actually just added that to Warframe. I've actually been out running around in that a bit. I haven't played too much in there because most of the enemies at the time when I was there were a little higher level than I should have been trying to attack. When you get hit by a dude twice with a shotgun and you're just about dead, you're probably not supposed to be there. But yeah, it's a really cool game. I'm actually a little disappointed that it took me this long to check it out again, because it's really cool. It's really neat. I think I really like what those guys are doing. They've found a really cool niche. And
they've been around for a few years and they seem to be ramping up. So I think they've got a pretty big player base. Yeah,
absolutely. And I get why. It really does scratch that sort of, not obviously first person, but that third person loot drop. You got to get the different things to get enough materials to build your new weapon or build your new Warframe. Or you got the blueprints and now you just need to find the resources to make it happen. And that was the other thing. There's an interesting mod system in the game where your weapons, your Warframe, all that stuff has mod slots. And as you fight enemies, they drop mods. And they're kind of in the game, they kind of look like cards. But those mods essentially give you abilities on top of your weapon. So, for example, your weapon now does 20% more damage or 40% more damage or 60% more damage. So you'll get a mod will drop, but then you can actually infuse that mod to make it stronger. But your weapon only has so much sort of energy, if you will. And so you got to kind of pick and choose your mods, because you can't have your mods use up energy and your weapon only has so much. And as your weapon levels up, it gains more energy, thus allowing you to either increase the mods that you have or to put more mods on it. Now, that's the one thing that I haven't fully grasped yet, is there's an item in the game that you have to get or find or build or something that allows you to put more mod slots on your weapon. So, like, I have a couple weapons and they only have like 1 or 2 mod slots open on them. And I can see that there's all these other places to put things, but I'm not able to actually put anything on them yet. Like, it says like, oh, you can't do that. But apparently I was doing some research and there's an item that you can get that allows you to unlock a mod slot, more or less.
I was going to say Google probably has the answer to that question.
So it's a neat system. It's surprisingly in depth and it's a lot of fun. And I kind of wish I would have just started playing it right after PAX 2 months ago instead of the week before Destiny 2. Yeah.
So check it out. It's free.
Exactly.
I'm going to, but it's not going to happen for like at least a month or a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Last week, Fire Emblem Warriors came out on Switch after we recorded.
Right.
I heard and saw good things on the internet, and I kind of enjoyed what I played. The couple times I played it at E3 and PAX.
Right, yeah, we got that demo at PAX, I remember
being
that.
Being a huge Fire Emblem fan, it was kind of on my radar a lot, or pretty much on my radar.
Yeah, you've been Fire Emblemming it up.
Oh yeah, I think I've beaten 3 Fire Emblems this year. The new one, and then went back and beat a couple other ones on my backlog. But yeah, so I have quite a connection to that universe and the characters. Now, the Muso-style Destiny Warriors game, which Fire Emblem Warriors is,
Dynasty
Warriors, a large-scale third-person combo-heavy special move combat where you're taking out hundreds of guys at a time. Not really my bag. I found them quite button mashy and just like,
They can be.
They just didn't really do anything for me. Anyway, I enjoyed the couple demos I had with this one, especially considering I really love Fire Emblem characters and so forth. So I was like, I'm going to get it. I heard good enough stuff about it, and I liked the little time I spent with it. So I haven't played tons. I've probably only done like 8 or 9 stages in the campaign.
Okay.
But I'm really liking it. You've got, there's so much customization to it.
I heard it's a surprisingly deep Muso game.
It's
like they've added a lot of essentially the Fire Emblem stuff that you would expect them to have in it.
It's got loot. It's got weapon crafting and upgrading. It's got basically a crest system that boosts your character's defensive, offensive, and special abilities. Almost like the sphere grid in Final Fantasy, is it 10?
Okay.
I can't remember which Final Fantasy had the sphere grid, but it's like you gotta open one and then you can open the next, but they're crests. So
kind of a little bit like in Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that skill tree in Assassin's Creed. Yeah. So you'll unlock like a different combo. And then the next level unlocks a different combo, or you can or you can get more defense, or you can get more health, and so forth. And there's tons of them to unlock for each character. There's tons of characters in the game. I think I only have the first 6 characters, and I think there's easily 2 or 3 times that.
Wow.
Loot drops in battles when you're taking out captains. Like I said, there's a lot of other systems beyond just the fighting. The cool thing I like about this, I don't know how the other ones work, like the one you were playing earlier. Which one was the one you were talking about?
I was playing Berserk.
Yeah, so
Band of the Hawk.
Do you only play as him, or do you play as multiple people in that?
So you play the story mode as him.
Okay.
And there's certain points in the story where you unlock characters, and then you can actually go back and play through the levels as those characters.
But primarily, you play as you.
Yeah, in that game, you're playing as Guts.
In Fire Emblem, each of the stages have different requirements.
Right.
At the start of the game, you choose one of the new main heroes, the female or male protagonist.
Right.
Their name is escaping me right now because they're new characters.
So not Marth.
Not Marth, but I have Marth unlocked. Marth is in the game.
Nice.
You usually can lose a level if they die. There's usually like a lose condition, so you don't want to make sure that person doesn't die. But you can bounce around from. You usually have it looks like it's only limited to a party of 4, and you'll actually have more characters in the level that do their own thing. But you can switch automatically to any one of the characters at any time, and you can even and you can direct them what to do. So you're familiar with these types of games. Usually there's like mini bosses or captains or gates or things you're trying to destroy or close or get to. You can order your other guys to go do that stuff.
Nice.
And then essentially...
So you actually kind of feel like a captain. You're actually telling people what to do.
This is where the Fire Emblem stuff comes in because it goes to a grid-based view of the map.
Nice.
And you basically click on the guy and put a little arrow over to where they're going, and it's cool because you can go deal with, you got to destroy the towers to take down the magical barrier, right? Well, I can go do that with the main character, send the other guys to the other side, and by the time I'm done taking it down myself, I can switch to one of those other characters and essentially like be there. And not have to they're not just all sitting in one spot doing nothing, and then I don't have to do that run from point A to C, because I already had someone going from point B to C. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. I like that. How you can and you don't even have to switch them. They've gotten low on health, a couple of them, but you can quickly change them. Usually, it seems like most of the characters, actually, except for the healer, most of the characters have healing items. The healer doesn't have a self-heal, so they have to heal like one of your random captains or one of your other characters to heal themselves. But it also has the weapon triangle from Fire Emblem: swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. So you can do extra,
so it's actually got that.
Yeah, so you can do extra damage or you take more damage.
Sweet.
The combos are freaking awesome. I didn't realize, because to me, like, I was keep making fun of the Dynasty Warriors games like it's a button masher, but there's actually like timing and different combos. There's like literally like, I don't even know, 5 or 6 basic combos, and you can unlock more for each character. And then there's the team up moves, then there's the team up combo moves, and then there's your super move, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Your characters look super badass pulling off these moves too.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like it.
Actually, I'm glad to hear that they actually did something more with it than just a regular. Because, like, let's be honest, the Zelda one they did was very much Fire Emblem, Zelda in Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah,
Zelda.
and they had the multiplayer switching in that one as well, but I don't know if they had the commands, like you can order them around the map like you could in this one, or if they just did their own thing. I don't know. I never played that one. But the Fire Emblem characters are just perfect for this universe because they already do have crazy moves and stuff from the games, like special moves, and it also has the the permadeath functionality. If you want to be crazy, I'm not playing that way because this is my first game like this, so I figure I'll play it on normal, get my bearing, and see if maybe potentially I want to go back to that. I will say it's not that difficult, so maybe after I beat it one time, that might be something that I want to add, because then it would probably add some, actual level of challenge and urgency of like, oh shit, I gotta go get that guy or save that guy.
Yeah, no kidding, because otherwise he's gone. That's it.
It's not the most amazing game. Plays really well, though. It's very smooth for the Switch, considering how many characters are on screen.
That's awesome.
The enemies are pretty dumb, though. Obviously, they're like cannon fodder. But
of course,
I've had a couple of bosses which are more complicated, where you actually have to dodge or wait for them to finish their combos and retaliate or, counter them or whatnot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a cool game.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that they're
7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't beaten it. The score could go up.
So it could go up or it could go down.
But it's a high 7.5. I'm really liking it.
Those games are great when you just want to go in and destroy 1,000 dudes and feel like a total badass.
It's cool on the Switch because obviously you can just suspend it and pick it up.
Yeah,
I'm going to kill a bunch of guys and then like click. Okay, I got to do something else. Oh, click. Because it's like, it's mindless, not mindless, but it's very at home on that console. And it makes me really want the full real Fire Emblem game, which is like, this will tide me over, I guess.
For a little while.
So this is kind of in the news. The next game I played, I'm playing the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Oh, okay.
Nintendo had a direct the other day going, here's the Animal Crossing game. This is just coming out in the end of November, iOS, Android, and yada, yada. Here's all the stuff about it.
Right.
And then, of course, randomly, for some reason, it's available in Australia. So
they like to launch, not just Nintendo.
Yeah, but usually,
but lots of places
does.
like to launch in those because it's a small enough market.
Yeah,
that they can sort of beta test. And it's a lot. I think it's further away. I don't know. Yeah. So
anyway,
so tell me about this game, Rick.
They normally don't do it though with such a huge window before the product. Usually they get Australia gets it like a day before it rolls out nationally or like internationally. But anyway, it's pretty easy to get. If you're on Android, you can like side load the APK. If you're on iOS, you just have to change like your iTunes store region or create an account in Australia.
Right.
The only thing I'd be worried about right now, I can't sync my Nintendo account, which essentially is really only has to do with my backup save. It only has Australia in there.
Okay.
But I imagine when it launches in North America, because it actually shows you like a country pull down, it'll probably have US and Canada, and then I'll be able to sync my account then. At first I was worried, but then I'm like, no, wait, that's like a pull down. So it's only available in Australia, so it makes sense. So it won't let me use my Nintendo account because I don't have an Australian Nintendo account, but it doesn't matter. It's saved on the phone, right?
Right, okay.
I was worried. I'm not worried anymore. Anyway, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is a mobile Animal Crossing where you are a camp manager.
Okay.
It's a little different than like the full Animal Crossing games in that you just don't get a town with randomly generated and then animals, houses, trees to cut down, the mayor's assistant, and chores to do. It's a little different than that. You run the camp, and then there's always roving animals, and they have their little camps.
Oh,
and you go,
okay.
And they're like a little play area. You just use your finger to move around the screen. There'll be trees, different fruit you can pull, pick
insects
from the trees. Insects to catch, fish to catch.
I'm watching a little video right now of it.
It's, yeah, and it looks awesome. It's like Animal Crossing in HD. Like, it looks fantastic. So these little areas, they're not huge, but they're not tiny, and they're usually populated with a few things to do. And then there's usually an animal or that friendo that you can go talk to, and they give you little quests like, hey, I want fruit, hey, I want fish, hey, I want this, hey, I want that. Right. And it's a little different than the full Animal Crossing game because you actually level up your relationship with them. They never had friend levels in the other one. So as you do quests for them, they level up. You level up. You get materials for crafting. A big thing in this game is you want to invite the different animals to your campsite, but they won't come visit your campsite and hang out with you unless you have certain like furniture. So we do have the furniture aspects like in the full game. You don't have a house. In this, you have your campsite and you have a camper, like your mobile camper van.
Mobile, okay.
And you can actually expand your camper van, which I already did. You can customize it, different paint colors, and so
can
forth.
It have wood paneling? Because, like, let's be honest, is it really a camper van without wood paneling?
I haven't seen a wood paneling one, but there's all kinds of crazy designs. Like, there's like classic old school, looks like 50s camper van type design. Anyway, I don't really know the big reason why you would expand your van, but I did it already. Like, I don't know what that benefits you. I guess you could put more furniture and customize the inside of your van. But yeah, so you do these missions, and then eventually it's like, okay, come to my campsite. And they're like, well, you don't have this. And there's a whole crafting aspect where you can order stuff. So you get mats for all the stuff, the furniture and stuff. So there's no Tom Nook store per se to go buy stuff. There is a store.
That makes sense. Like, I'm kind of curious. Like, this seems like a cool thing that they're building, but it kind of makes me wonder, why didn't they just build a real Animal Crossing game? I'm going to tell you.
Okay. I was thinking this too before I started playing this. I'm like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. But it makes total perfect sense. You're camping, so you're mobile, so it fits with the theme of being on the cell phone. The small little world is perfect for jumping in and jumping out.
Okay.
You got your map where you can go bounce around and visit all the different animals and then entice them to come back to your campsite. And it's just got a quick, like, pick up and play, like, style compared to the full game, which is, you know, running around your big world, cutting down trees, grabbing all the plants, all the fruit and stuff. That can take a while, and you're really not doing anything. You're just doing maintenance, right? So right. They kind of streamlined, like, the interactions that people like in Animal Crossing and that furniture collecting. And as opposed to just buying it, you can craft it. You could never craft it in the other games. You could order it from catalogs, or if you saw it in your friends' houses and towns. But the whole crafting system is kind of cool, so you can build furniture, right? It's okay. I got it yesterday.
Right.
I'm level 4. People were worried about, they have leaf tickets, which are kind of like the currency you can buy. I have 126 tickets I've earned in less than 24 hours of having this game.
Wow.
It looks like some of the really big items here are some furniture that'll get like KK Slider and Tom Nook to come to your campsite. They cost $250.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It doesn't seem bad at the pace I'm going. I don't know if it's going to like totally slow down or whatnot.
Right.
But, yeah, it seems like a little fun game. The fishing's in there, the getting bugs, the furniture stuff. There's a market with a traveling merchant. So actually one of the Nooks was there selling stuff, but he only sells like 3 or 4 things. And then there was Mabel and her sister were there selling like different clothes. It's got a lot of the aspects of like the full Animal Crossing game, but like really streamlined to be like quick and easy.
So I think it's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, that kind of stuff.
I think it's pretty cool. Like I'm super surprised. And the really amazing thing is it's Animal Crossing in HD. It's the best looking version of Animal Crossing. It looks fantastic on the phone. It's super surprising. I'm just thinking now that I wonder if this will end up being compatible with the full game that eventually comes out on Switch. Because I'm sure Switch will take a bunch of maybe the crafting stuff from this, because that seems like a given now that this is new, and put it in the full game. Because it's going to be a full game, and obviously having a full world and towns and permanent homes makes more sense for the full game. And that's where I thought this whole like camper van type system is kind of cool. I'm liking it. I think it's cool. If you're an Animal Crossing fan, there's something to like here. Definitely better than the last, like that Happy Home Designer crap and that other board game crap that they.
This totally sounds like something my wife is going to put on her phone and really like it.
Yeah, it seemed like I said, I'm only like a day or so in. There's daily goals. You know, go visit someone, go collect some shells, go do this that are timed. Looks like there's 3, so I already did them, so I can't do them again. Then there's like big stretch goals, which get you obviously look like better rewards.
Okay. That's cool.
And there's tons of those. Man, that list just goes on forever. Yeah, it seems like a cool game. If you want to get it, I suggest you look at that link. Actually, it'll be in the podcast show notes. The next web has a link on how to get it for iPhone and Android if you're interested in playing it.
Well, I'll probably wait. I feel like I got enough to play right now, but when it comes out, I'll probably definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's neat. I was very surprised because at first when I saw the direct, I was kind of like, oh, I was kind of disappointed. But then actually getting my hands on the plane, I'm like, no, actually, this is pretty cool. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that because like I saw the video and I've been seeing it, and every single time, all I'm thinking is, so why didn't they just build a proper? So I mean, it sounds like they did a good thing, which is cool. So I'm
they don't want to eat. They don't want to eat their
check
lunch, right? You know, they're still going to release a mainline Animal Crossing, I'm sure, on Switch.
Yeah. I hope, anyways.
We've all both played Assassin's Creed.
We have
awesomely provided disclosure here from Ubisoft Canada. Thank you very much, guys. That's freaking awesome. Actually, they gave us a couple copies. We're going to give away a copy. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that. I'll probably do it on Facebook and Twitter and our usual channels. But not only a regular edition of the game, but a gold edition of the game, which includes
pretty cool.
All the DLC, the season pass, and so forth. So keep an eye out on our social media channels for that. I will try and get that up sometime tomorrow, and maybe pick a winner next week sometime. Maybe even on the podcast next week.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
So yeah, anyway, that's going to happen. But yeah, we've both been playing it on PS4. Dane.
Yes.
I'm a really big Assassin's Creed fan.
You are.
I have kind of lapsed. I've essentially played... I own Unity, barely played any of it. I rented Syndicate and liked it, but then just fell off and couldn't go back to it. And when's the last time you played an Assassin's Creed game?
So I played a bunch of the first Assassin's Creed game, and I really liked what it was doing. And then after about 4 hours of it, I realized that's the whole game. So then I ended up playing a little bit more to confirm that is, in fact, the whole game. And I was a little disappointed because like the concept was so cool and it was so unique, and it was
the world they created.
It was incredible. And I also thought it was super cool that the time period. We rarely get games based on the Crusade that time and in that area, which I thought was super unique, which was really cool. And I also, of course, when I started playing, thought, what a cool idea. You've got this League of Assassins versus the Templar, who, of course, in history, obviously the Templar were sort of a thing that got destroyed due to greed and power and everything else. So it was kind of a neat play on history and stuff like that. But I was really disappointed in the gameplay loop because, like I said, after pretty much playing that 4 to 6 hours, you've seen pretty much the entire game.
It was lacking in the depth, but yeah, the potential was there, which was, totally, to be honest, fully realized with Assassin's Creed 2. And
that's probably the one that I've played by far the most of in an Assassin's Creed game. Like, I think I managed to get through... I think I'm actually about 70% of the way through Assassin's Creed 2. I didn't actually finish it, but like anybody who listens to this podcast knows that that's not something that's overly surprising. Yeah. I play a ton of games, and sometimes it's just... I
platinumed Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
And I platinumed the first one as well, even though there wasn't that much stuff to do. Actually,
Assassin's Creed 2 was great.
I don't think I platinumed the first one. I got 1,000 achievement points because I played that one on Xbox.
Okay.
But Assassin's Creed 2, I'm pretty positive I platinumed.
Yeah, so I started Assassin's Creed 2, then I kind of fell off, and then I actually went back to it a while ago. It might have even been when we were recording these podcasts, actually. I think I went back to it and played a bunch more of it. And I kind of kicked myself. It's on PS3 at this point, so I don't think I'll ever probably go back and finish it, just because now that I've been spoiled by the PlayStation 4 controller. Trying to go back to that PS3 controller is real hard.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because I was actually thinking about it when I started playing this one, that, man, I kind of want to go back and finish that one now.
Yeah.
So then I've dabbled in some of the Assassin's Creeds, little bits here, little bits there, play some at PAX, look at other stuff. And it's like, I don't know, there's something about the games and the universe themselves that always kind of draws me in. It's such a, I think it's such a cool idea.
The real locale and the history. The alternate history lesson with, historical figures, but doing different things.
Totally. So they always come out at bad times, though. And also sometimes, I know, like it's that fall when everything comes out. And it's actually brutal, because I actually own 3 on PC and I own 4 Black Flag on, I think I own it on PC as well as Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
I know it was a Games for Gold on Xbox. I don't know about PS4.
No, I got it for Christmas a few years ago, and it's actually sad. I haven't actually played it on any of those platforms.
I'm pretty sure. Sorry.
Playing this one actually makes me really want to go back and play that one.
Don't
now.
go back. Don't bother.
And I own Liberation on my Vita, because I have the white
they just
PlayStation Vita.
Last month's PlayStation Plus was Freedom Cry on PS4.
Right. Man, I missed that one.
I own every Assassin's Creed except for Syndicate.
Interesting.
I own Unity. I never...
That one was the train wreck,
That was
right?
the train wreck first gen one, which demoed well, but I don't know, when it came out, full of bugs, all kinds of other issues.
Tons of technical issues, yeah.
I don't know. Like I wanted to get Syndicate, but it's still, I don't think I've ever seen it less than $30. And at this point, because it's been out for a couple of years, I want it like around $20 or less.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I liked Syndicate. I just, for whatever reason, didn't get back to it, because London was cool. The roving base that was like, your base was on a train going around London, essentially in a circle. That was kind of cool.
That's kind of neat.
That was a really cool aspect. And you played as the twins, the brother and the sister.
Right.
The Fry siblings, they seemed like cool assassins. And the whole gang aspect. I like that game. Man, I'm kind of annoyed I didn't get back to it. But probably Black Flag was my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood. But yeah, I've played very little of the next gen ones. Unity and Syndicate barely played.
Right.
And it's been they took a year off, so it's been 2 years since the last Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
This one takes place in Egypt. You play as Bayek, is Medjai. I don't even know what that really means. It kind of seems like a peace officer almost.
I think at some point he mentions that the Medjai are almost, they were the elite guard for the pharaoh, which is kind of like a badass police officer in a way. I will say, if anybody is going to pick this game up, the very beginning is a little bit off-putting from a story perspective. So I sat down and I started playing this, and I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was like, man, I feel like I missed something. Like, did I miss a cutscene?
No, there's like a time jump, right?
Did I miss something like that explains a bunch of stuff? Like, I feel so confused. Like, 1 minute it's going like this thing, and then there's like this kind of quick flash, and then it's like 1 year later or whatever, and I'm in the middle of like fighting this dude, and I'm like, whoa, okay. And then like little bits and pieces of kind of what happens later, you're kind of slowly building and putting it together. But like I honestly thought like, man, maybe I look at my phone during a cutscene and I just missed it. Like
it's a very stylistic, like time jump storytelling kind of what do you call it? I don't know. It's just a weird way they were showing the story unfold at the start there. But yeah, it's like a time jump. It's like, here's what's going on. And then, now we're in the future 1 year later.
Right. Like, but they didn't even like talk about what actually happened during that time jump. And I'm assuming that that's something that's going to come along. So,
no, it's coming as you go along.
So just so everybody knows, I have played more or less through the beginning, sort of the opening, we'll call it the prologue / opening / I guess training area, if you will. What is
it called? Is it SEMA? Is that what it's called, or is it something else?
It's your character's hometown.
Yeah,
is what where you start at. So essentially, I've done everything. I've done all the cool side quests. I've done a bunch of stuff. And the last thing I need to do is, obviously, it's an Assassin's Creed game, so I need to assassinate a dude, which I have not yet done to sort of move the story forward. So I have gotten a good taste of the game. I think I've played about 3 or 4 hours of it at this point. I will say that this, probably more than any Assassin's Creed game, I feel like they're getting a lot of things right. For me, the movement feels real good.
I was gonna say there's a lot of things really good going on here.
Like the fighting system that they've introduced in this feels a lot better.
It's kind of like a Zelda-ish lock-on. Shield. One button does your shield. One button does your light attack. Another button does your heavy attack. And you've got a dodge. And I don't know if you've unlocked it, but you can unlock a parry as well.
I have unlocked the parry.
Okay, well, you've unlocked the parry. But like you were saying with... Go ahead.
Preface that. So yeah, there's a whole unlock tree, and there's sort of branches in that tree, and you can put points. Whenever you level up, you get points that you can put into these places on the tree. And so that means like you can unlock, like he said, like a parry ability. You can unlock all kinds of different things, and you can really sort of customize how you want to play. So there's a bunch of stuff in the one tree that's all sort of towards bows and attacking from afar. There's one that's very much about like the warrior path. That's all about parrying and attacking, and allowing you to carry 2 weapons or 2 main weapons or 2 bows and stuff like that. And then there's another one that's sort of the mystic path that allows you to craft like bombs and create poisons, and also there's a crafting element as well that kind of gets tied into a bit of that. And they all kind of, you can choose to put points into things, and of course, like the sphere grid, you unlock one and then that opens up the path to various other things. So you can't just like, I want that one and that one and that one.
And they go up in cost.
Yeah, exactly.
I've gotten to a point where everything's like looking like is costing like 2.
Oh, interesting.
I was kind of beelining to a certain ability. I'm like, oh, it needs 2. Damn it, I need a little more. So yeah, back to the movement. The thing I've really noticed about this game is that your character's movement seems very, not heavy, but like I feel totally in control of him. And not from like a Mario, like ridiculously fast response, like he immediately changes direction when you push the controller. Do you know what I mean? But he's not loose like, say, Drake in Uncharted, who kind of feels like he's like wearing banana peels on his feet and sliding around all over the level. You don't really feel like
there's a momentum to those characters, right?
Yeah, but it's a weird momentum. And in this, I feel like it's a heavy, purposeful, like, I feel like I actually, when I'm going a direction, I don't know, it just feels really good. I don't know.
No, I agree.
It feels better than the other Assassin's Creed.
Oh, it absolutely does.
I really like the shield combat, the blocking, the countering, and the shield break. I feel like it's super solid.
The one thing I will say about the combat is I think it's really good when it's one-on-one or even a couple of guys. I did run into a situation where I accidentally, inadvertently ran across like a whole group of soldiers that happened to be wanting to make my day real bad. And
They got a little
I
hectic.
had like 10 guys on me roughly. And that got very not great. Like,
Yeah,
that's where
that might
the
be.
old Assassin's Creed game, I feel like maybe worked out a little bit better for being able to like rush in, counter, and take down guys with your like hidden blades or with your swords or whatever.
Yeah,
with your daggers.
the combat was
And
very easy in
it
some of the older
worked.
games.
Yeah, it worked really well for those big groups though. Like, whereas in this, I feel like it's a lot better one-on-one. Like, there's actually, it feels like combat, and it's not just your classic Batman style combat, because that seems to be
just
what
mash,
a lot
mash,
of people
mash,
put.
Counter, mash, mash, mash. Counter.
Yeah, like this has like a definite
there's a skill
flow to it. There's a skill, there's a flow, there's like, you kind of need to know when he's going to attack. There's the parry ability, there's the kind of, you can dodge out of the way, and you got to get back in there to counter attack. Like, it's really cool, and it works super well when there's like one or two guys and you can lock on to them and kind of juggle back and forth. Super cool.
I'm sure taking out big crews will come as just you play the game a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I think it'll probably, some of the abilities that you get as well will probably help that.
So from that aspect, the control, I feel like it feels really good. The systems they've added, so you've got questing, you've got side quests, you've got like a journal where you can track your quests. There's crafting, there's loot, like multiple, you've got multiple weapons, multiple armor, different loot using the classic loot system, like in, most RPGs now. You're blue. I don't know if there's greens, but there's blue, purple, and orange I've noticed so far.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, obviously, with your different weapons, they've got different special perks, especially with having the gold edition. Did you download all that extra shit?
No, when I
you
clicked
should
on it, I
download
thought
that shit.
I thought the store was unavailable or something when I checked.
No, you don't have to do it through the store. It should be in your downloads, your purchase downloads in PlayStation Store. There's a mount, there's an armor set, and there's some really cool weapons, and they're only cool, like they're legendary or whatever, but they're
there for the beginning.
But they're for the beginning area, because I've already found some items that are like the same strength, but they don't have the perks, so they're not better. But that gear looks freaking awesome.
I'll have to check that out.
As you kill guys, they drop loot, they drop money, they can randomly drop like a wicked weapon.
I killed a couple of guys and they dropped some pretty sweet bows, and I was like, nice. I needed a new bow.
The added depth of just the whole loot system and the character customization, they haven't really had that in the other games. You could buy gear, but it was all...
And the gear did do more damage and stuff, but you could really go through those old Assassin's Creed games and not use ultimately anything more than the weapons that you were given at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think you could do that with this game.
Whereas this, like, your character levels up, and your weapons obviously have a level as well, and you kind of have to pay attention to the enemies that you're attacking, because like if you're level 5 and they're level 6, they're going to be more difficult. If they're level 7, you might be pushing it.
Yeah,
like, you got to be careful. It's a lot more about, like, in a classic sort of RPG sense, there's definitely that, okay, well, which actually brings me to a point that I'm hoping isn't going to happen. But I'm wondering if, because of that, if there's going to be a bunch of, in the middle of this game, I'm going to have to run around doing a bunch of side quests to essentially level me up to be able to do the main quests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing that kind of worries me about this system, is it has the potential to get a little grindy, where like, okay, well, now I got to go level up, or I got to go get better gear so that I can go do this other mission.
I haven't completed all the stuff, and I think I'm like a sliver away, if not already hit level 5, which is the main quest they give you in the starting areas requirement is level 5.
I think I'm level 7.
So, you definitely played more than me.
Yeah, no, I finished all the main side quests in that whole first area, and that definitely got me to level 6. I can't remember if I know I'm level 6 for sure.
Yeah,
I can't remember if I pushed into level 7 or not.
I saved my game like right in front of the next quest. Or I didn't save the game. I suspended my PS4. I'm really liking it. So far, so good. It feels like an awesome return to form. And just all the stuff they added I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. This open world game. But now it's like has this whole other level of depth besides just having to worry about what type of missions there are available. There's the whole character customization, which I feel like wasn't really in any of the other games.
They also pulled some of the stuff from like Far Cry games into this with the crafting system.
The crafting. You got to hunt.
So like you got to go out and like hunt animals to get in my case, I needed a bunch of soft leather to upgrade some of the things that I needed. And so I had to go out and like hunt down gazelles to get soft leather.
Yeah.
To craft various other items.
To boost your chest piece.
My breastplate health.
Which is separate from like the actual gear you're actually wearing, which is kind of cool. That's like a global upgrade.
And there's like, you start with 4 pieces like that. There's an arm piece, a chest piece, and there's like 2 other things. Oh, there's a quiver, so your quiver to hold arrows. And I can't remember. There's one other one.
The other one either.
And then you can also unlock 2 more. And so essentially when you need various materials to upgrade things, like I said, kind of similar to like a Far Cry game where you have to actually either go out and find it either via the animals or you got to find a stash of it somewhere so that you can actually level that stuff up as well, which is cool. It's neat. It adds kind of that extra depth to it.
One of my favorite things is they always had the eagle vision in the old Assassin's Creed is what they called it, which is essentially like your Batman detective vision where you could see through walls and see enemies and this and that. And it was always kind of weird. It was like, I'll give it a pass because, we're in a machine diving through DNA memories and it's all like far-fetched high tech. I really like in this game how you have your eagle and you actually control him and that's how you spot enemies and scope out different places, which is even more effective than that stupid eagle vision that the old games had. Not that there was anything wrong with it, it worked, but this seems so much more effective because you can send your eagle from anywhere to go look at anything and it's cool.
As long as you're not underground, it works really well.
Okay, well, I haven't had to use it underground, but...
Oh, you haven't done a certain mission then?
No, I did a, little tomb where the kids were, but that's the only one I've done. I haven't.
Yeah, no, there's another, kind of full-on mission, and you go underground, and I was like, "No, my eagle's useless!"
Yeah, I'm
that
pretty
being
happy.
said,
I was playing this game, and I'm like, oh, everything feels good. This feels awesome.
Yeah... This is honestly the first time since the second one that I've been very happy, and also probably for me it's been long enough too. I felt like a year in between these was not nearly enough time personally.
They were coming out like hotcakes. There's 3 Assassin's Creed 2 games.
Yeah, exactly.
To give you an idea how many freaking Assassin's Creed games
Brotherhood and Revelations.
I did purchase the game on Xbox as well. Because I wanted something to play on my Xbox One X. Because speaking of Xbox One X, I kind of made the decision that I'm going to get it.
Right.
I know I was humming and hawing before, and I also kept making fun that I'm probably going to end up getting it because I'm an idiot. But I made the decision I'm going to get it. So... I bought this game on Xbox. Now I'm kind of split. I'm like, am I going to keep it? I don't know. I might have to just take it back. because I already got the game and I got it a little bit early, thankfully.
Right.
That copy hasn't even shipped, or I think it may have shipped, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the game. And I was buying it regardless from just a couple, because I played it at E3, we played it at PAX. The thing I'm thinking is my memory going back to E3 and PAX. I'm pretty sure we were playing the PC version being sold to us as the Xbox One X version. Because I feel like my memory of what we played at PAX looks better than than the game we're currently playing.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I know I was playing whatever it was I was playing.
It's like that
with an Xbox.
It's like that
One
difference
controller.
of console to PC, right? I just feel like there was a whole level of clarity a bit higher on the version we were playing, and I'm pretty sure that was PC version trying to be like, yeah, this is Xbox One X specs, right? That game.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably a PC that was set up to emulate or whatever. Yeah.
I have the 4K footage. I can go back and look at it.
Yeah, fair enough. Honestly, I'm really impressed. I really am liking this Assassin's Creed game. It's really cool. I love the setting. It's set in Egypt.
Yeah, it's a cool setting.
And I kind of like that it's not all just rooftop hopping and everything's a little bit lower. Like, there are obviously some buildings that are taller.
Yeah, you've got the synchronization points up high. Like, it's Assassin's Creed. They're never going to get rid of that.
Little tip with the synchronization points. Those also help your eagle become more adept at scoping out dudes.
I did not know
and
that.
Quicker. So if you do more of those synchronization points,
so it makes your eagle better. Huh.
Yeah. So he's easier to find dudes. He'll see them behind walls, things like that. So
that's cool.
Little side thing there to actually means you want to actually do those. So yeah, no, I really like it. I think that the setting really works for that game. There's boats. You can go cruise around in boats, which is kind of neat. You can dive into the water and swim, which is also helpful instead of just drowning whenever there's water. There's actually some underwater stuff in this.
I think they added swimming in the last.
Yeah, I know they did.
I can't remember which one they did, but was it the first one or second one that you couldn't go in the water? I can't even remember.
I know they definitely added it in 4 for the pirate one.
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, no.
Awesome.
Honestly, like if I didn't get this game, which it was provided to us,
probably
would have bought this one. I actually, like, now that I'm seeing the game and I'm playing it more firsthand, and I'm seeing obviously some of the review scores that are coming out.
Yeah,
I think I probably would have purchased this one. This would have been the first Assassin's Creed that I purchased in a long time.
Yeah, it's
and I'm glad I'm playing
the most different. So
yeah, and I'm really glad I'm playing it. It's great, and I actually I was bugging my wife earlier because I kind of wanted to play some more Assassin's Creed, and she was playing Stardew Valley, and I was like, I'm going to have to get a second PS4, aren't I? Like, just so I can play some of these other games. And
PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I wonder what the difference is between the Pro and the...
I don't know. I'm just playing it on the regular. I mean, it looks fine. It looks really nice. Like, it's a very pretty game. There's... For the most part, it hasn't really... There's been a couple of times where the frame rate's dropped a little bit.
It's dropped on the Pro when there was a lot of enemies on the screen at one point.
But overall, I've been pretty impressed with the
but like even the
performance.
Supposed Xbox One X versions we were playing was only 30 frames a second. So
yeah.
I guess the other big thing that we played this week, Destiny 2 came out on PC.
That's the thing that's out now.
Dane, how far are you? Have you beaten the campaign already? Are you in the endgame loot grind?
Obviously, done the raid already.
Yeah, this is not even out and you've done it.
Obviously.
Are you going to be raid ready for next week?
Duh. No, definitely not. I think I'm even ways back from where you guys are at. I think I'm level 6.
Oh yeah, you're behind us a bit.
Yeah.
But you didn't play last night, right? Because you weren't feeling
No,
well.
I wasn't feeling good at all.
Me and Trevor, since we didn't record last night, put in a good session last night.
Yeah. No, I'm on sort of the second, I guess, area.
Titan.
I'm on Titan. I got to admit, there was one jumping spot on Titan that I just about threw my headset across the room. I'm Warlock.
Okay, Warlock's got the hardest jumps.
Yeah, I'm realizing that. So I played a Titan in the first game, and like the way the Titan's trajectories work when
Titan shoots straight up in the air,
and it's
fast.
Yeah. Whereas the Warlock
is momentum based. So the second time you hit your jump, depending if you're going up or down, that's the direction you're going to glide. So if you're gliding down, you're going to just glide down.
Yeah.
So if you want to get height, you essentially have to go tap, tap real quick to go up.
So there was one spot. There was one spot where I think I must have done that jump 6 or 8 times. And it was super frustrating because there's a ladder right there. So you'd think your character would just hit the ladder and climb up it.
Climbing ladders.
No.
They can't climb
absolutely
ladders.
Not. So the end of it is I managed to trigger something at a certain point that pushed me past it.
It pushed you forward.
So I didn't actually have to finish the stupid jump, which actually worked out all right for me because I was getting pretty frustrated with that one jump.
You played the beta, right?
I did. Yeah.
And your PC runs this easily, right?
Honestly, I haven't really gone into the settings and messed with anything. The only thing I did was I changed the anisotropic filtering to 16 times because initially it was set at 2. And I know that that's more or less like free performance on most newer cards. Mm-hmm. Like the type of performance sort of hit that you're going to get from that is like virtually none. You're going to maybe lose like half a frame. Like it's, so I enabled that. Outside of that, I left everything normal. So I'm running 1920 by 1200 and I'm pretty much locked at 99% of the time, I would say.
Yeah. So
it runs really well.
You noticed in the cutscenes that it drops down to 30, eh?
Actually, that is the one part of that game.
That's why it looks so shocking because the game is running so silky smooth that when the cutscene... No?
Those cutscenes are not silky
That's
smooth.
what I mean. That's what I'm getting at.
No. I'm not talking about like a little bit of like low frame rate. I'm talking about...
They're chuggy, yeah.
It
does it on my machine too, trust me. My machine runs this game at over 100 and something frames a second, but for whatever reason, those weird in-game cutscenes... The frame rate is like 30 and it dips weird for some reason.
It's not that it dips weird. I'm okay if it was locked at 30 and it just ran because that's exactly what it's doing. But what's happening for me is it's actually hitching and it will actually like stop.
Okay,
like there was a couple times
it's not doing it like that.
Yeah, me. No, like there's been a couple times where I've thought like, oh man, the game is going to crash here. And then it like keeps going. Like it's like, when you like back a long time ago when you used to watch an internet video and it didn't buffer enough before it started playing, that's what those cutscenes are doing for me.
Okay, mine's not doing that.
And it sucks because the rest of the game runs great.
Mine's the shocking, oh my god, this 30 frames per second looks like a slideshow compared to 60 plus.
The 60, yeah. No, it's weird, and I don't know why. The rest of the game runs so gloriously smooth. I'm going to assume
it's something that they will patch.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, when I watch those in-game videos, it is brutal.
And those are the in-engine cutscenes, not the pre-rendered cutscenes, right? I assume those ones play fine?
No.
Those ones
No,
too?
It's like any of those. That's like anytime there's essentially a video... It just gets like all weird, and like I said, I'm wondering if it's like trying to stream in, like load in assets in the background, and there's just like not enough bandwidth, and so the video gets like
for me, it's only noticeable when it's like the in-engine, like flying into an area or like those types of scenes. When it's the actual like fully rendered ones that are actual like cut scenes, those ones play fine.
Yeah, no, those are the ones that kill me. I don't know why. I had one crash on the first night. That was a good reminder that I forgot to update my drivers before playing. I updated my drivers and jumped back in, and I haven't had a single crash since, which has been great. Game's real pretty. It's really, really pretty. It's Destiny with a mouse and keyboard, so pretty happy about that. It's weird. I don't know. I feel like I've barely touched the surface of it still. And I know I have, so it's weird to try and talk about, because like so far, honestly, it just feels like I'm playing Destiny 1 with a mouse and keyboard, and it looks way better. Which is, I guess, kind of what I wanted out of Destiny 2 in a weird way. It's weird. There's a part of my brain that is like super happy, and this is exactly what I wanted. And then there's this other little part of me that's a little bit kind of disappointed that like they didn't make it different. But that part of my brain says, well, why? You like this. Why did they need to change it just for the sake of changing it? And then the other part of my brain says, well, because it says Destiny 2, how come more of it isn't different? But I think that a lot of the stuff that they've done are really good stuff and like quality of life things. And so far I'm loving it, and I want to play a lot more of it, and it's kind of on the brain, and that's kind of all I want to play.
Yeah.
Except that then I played Assassin's Creed, and now my brain is super doesn't know what to do because it wants to play both of them, and it can't. Like,
no.
I'm in this weird spot.
Because I've played so much Destiny 2 on PC is going to be my when someone else is on game. Like, to be honest, I primarily played the PS4 version by myself.
Right.
I decided not to do the raid because I'm going to do the raid on PC. But for the most part, I didn't. I did the Nightfall once with somebody.
Right.
And I'm like, I just did single player, but I feel like on PC, I'm going to play this whole game with other people all the time. The biggest for me, obviously, I've talked about Destiny 2 a lot because it came out 2 months ago now. And it's been my most played game this year already. And now I'm playing it again. The PC version is fucking amazing. Oh my God.
This is what I said before. I said, man, if they would have released Destiny 1 on PC, I would have bought it again. Like, and I would have been happy to do it.
It's playing the PS4. I thought the PS4 version looked good. The PS4 version looks like garbage
compared to the PC one, where
it doesn't. It absolutely does. It absolutely doesn't. It looks good, but holy crap, this is a different game.
It's so pretty.
Dude, you do not understand. This is a different game. From just, I feel like targeting enemies, I feel like even more badass. I do miss the vibration, like rumble feedback, because that's very distinct for all the guns.
That is actually one thing I did notice myself actually as well.
Destiny
was
2,
that.
But the mouse feel and accuracy is pretty goddamn good. Man, guns that I wouldn't use in the like submachine guns for me on the consoles are useless. There's too much recoil, and I can't. But with a
mouse, you can make that a thing.
On the PC, I'm using submachine guns.
Hell yeah!
I haven't found a good hand cannon I like, but I'm pretty sure I will actually also use hand cannons more.
Oh man,
I feel like the meta of this game is just going to be so different.
I've been using the scout rifle quite a bit. Just because, you know, it's the beginning of the game. Rad. And I'm just like, fucking boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot. It's amazing. I'm like, the only time it was a bit of a problem was when I got to Titan and, what's it called? The Hive. You've got the lowest level Hive guys and they just swarm you.
Thralls.
Yeah, and I actually ran into a bit of a situation where I just couldn't shoot enough bullets.
Yeah, you got to get in a good rhythm, and the second you miss a headshot on one of them, it's like, crap. You start panicking.
And it only happened once. I was like, it was just at the very, very beginning. The first time I saw them again, I was like, these guys can be a jerk. I just got to be careful. And oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And I kind of put myself in a bad spot where I could get surrounded, kind of, and it didn't work out. But it only happened that one time. But
Me and Trevor are like level 15 or 16.
I saw that, you motherfuckers.
We are, I don't know, I want to say maybe 3/4 of the way through. There's actually quite a few missions still left.
Really? That far already?
You hit level 20 before the game's done.
Right.
It's not the longest campaign. It's a long campaign, but it's not the longest campaign. It is probably about 8 hours. Longer if you fuck around. I tend to fuck around, but with the two of us, we're kind of fucking hauling ass.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, that's kind of why I've been playing so far alone, just because I kind of just want to, I'm kind of taking my time and doing it. But
the thing is like I said,
good.
We could jump in with you and we'd still get loot. So we wouldn't really, we wouldn't be making huge progression, but it's not like we'd be making zero progress.
Yeah.
So there's like, that's not something to worry about. But man, we're playing this game and I am constantly, while playing with Trev, I'm like out loud, I'm like, this game's fucking amazing. This game is fucking, oh my God, this game looks so good. Oh my God, it's a whole new game. Like it's amazing how good it looks and how well it plays. And I just, with the mouse and keyboard, like I said, different guns, like I feel like it's a different game because I can use different guns that just didn't feel viable for my old man hands on a controller.
Yeah. Well, and that's, for me, I don't feel now if I die, it's because I feel like I fucked up.
Yeah, as opposed to you fucking up with the controller, getting stuck on a ledge.
Whereas like with the controller, it's like I'm trying to get away, and then I like didn't realize there was a little tiny ledge there, or I'm like trying to jump through the air and make that headshot, and it's just not quite, it's just not precise enough, and it's just not fluid enough. Whereas like now, that's not a problem. Now, if I die, pretty much every single time, it's
your fault.
Because there's been, outside of the jumping bullshit,
that was totally
it feels like it was my fault. It feels like, okay, well, I screwed up. I shouldn't. My position in that situation was bad. I should have been over here. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is the type of stuff that I'm finding myself happening when I play it now, whereas that was not happening before on console at all with the controller. There's one mission in the last Destiny that I tried to play in Destiny 1 where I kept playing it over and over by myself, and that felt so much like, okay, if I could be more precise and I could have better controls, this wouldn't be a problem, but I keep screwing this up, and that was really frustrating.
I find a cool thing in Destiny 2 on PC. With the mouse and the keyboard, I can actually revive people and still shoot enemies. I couldn't do that on the controller because you can't. It's impossible to hold square to revive and move your cursor around.
Right,
it's impossible
unless you've got square set up on one of those fancy Xbox One or Pro controllers.
Unless you're doing some kind of weird claw thing by the default controls and controllers, it's impossible. On the PC, I can revive someone and shoot enemies. So reviving people isn't a risk where I'm like totally exposed the whole time.
Totally.
Oh, it feels so good, Dane. It runs so good. I just want to play.
I'm actually really, really happy with is how well it runs.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned after some of the hitching and whatnot of some of the other games that I'd had a bit on my PC, and I was like, oh man, I don't know.
It bugs me, the frame rate drops in the cutscenes, but it's all out of the main game. Like once you load into the game into a level, that's non-existent. It's like silky smooth.
Yeah, I'm just amazed. It's been locked at 60, and I haven't even tried. I might even try to like unlock it and see how high up it goes.
Yeah.
Because of course I don't have a G-Sync monitor, so being locked at 60, I'm actually losing and running some frame delay, which I kind of hate. So I might swap that out. It might feel a little better. We'll see.
I guess after you play some more and we play some, we can talk more about some of the stuff in the game as you get exposed, because you're just still in the campaign. None of the stuff's really even opened up for you yet.
Yeah, like I've played a couple adventures. They sort of get you into that near the beginning in the European Dead Zone. That's kind of neat. It feels a little bit more like an actual sort of side
mini
story,
quests, mini stages.
Yeah, it's like an extension of the first game when you're just out in the world and you run across a beacon, but they feel a little more fleshed out.
Yeah, they're like an actual mission.
Yeah. That's the one thing I will say about this is that a lot of those little side things that they added in Destiny feel a lot more fleshed out in Destiny 2.
They're still the same. They're still the weak ass patrols, but yeah, the adventures definitely are like an evolution of that.
For sure.
And the lost sectors as well. Little hidden nook and crannies and like all over all the different open areas.
Yeah.
It's a cool game. We'll talk about it more.
You just want to like cut out now and go play Destiny for now?
Well, actually, I want to cut out now because Mario Odyssey unlocked on my Switch, so...
Oh, is that... Spoiler alert for next week. Yeah, no. Destiny 2 PC, as far as I'm concerned, easily by far and away the place to play it.
Oh, yeah, it's the best version of the game.
And just FYI, if you're playing it on your PC and you're using a controller, you're doing it wrong.
Destiny 2 is the best-selling game of the year so far. They just announced.
I'm not surprised it's on every console.
That's not even counting that announcement was made before the PC release launched.
I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't surprise me. It's a multi-platform title. And that first game had a ton of momentum.
And it just came out a month ago.
Yeah.
That's for best-selling game of the year.
I bet Zelda or one of those games would possibly have done better, but they can't get enough Switches produced to put them in people's hands to play them.
Yeah.
So,
with that, we can get into the news and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 PC players reportedly getting banned for no reason.
I didn't see this. Really?
Yeah. Well, apparently there was a big kerfuffle, flaw. It's the internet. People spazzing, freaking the fuck out, going, I don't know. I got cracked. I got banned, and da-da-da. And there's like radio silence from Bungie. Anyway. So Bungie made a post today on their website about the alleged bannings and like unrandom bans. And they clarified that no ban was random. The app doesn't auto ban. And then it wasn't to do with, streaming software, overlay software, recording software, or anything. They banned 400 people. They overturned 4 bans, which were mistakes.
Right.
Every ban is manually scrutinized, so it's not automatic. And they were pretty adamant about the people we banned, we reviewed it, and they're using shit that puts the game's economy at risk, and we don't want it. So bye-bye. But of course, people out there, minus maybe seems like the tiny few people that were banned by accident, really all the people who got banned really made it sound like, I got banned for no reason. But come on, it's PCs. There's a bunch of cheating douchebags. There could have been people who weren't cheating, but had cheat engines installed running that they're forgot to turn off maybe.
I have no idea.
Which would suck, but I don't use any of that shit. So, hey, play with fire. Your ass gonna get burned.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this. We don't need to talk about that. Over the weekend, there was a giant kerfuffle on NeoGAF. I don't know if you were aware of this, my friend.
Because I am neck deep in the gaming world, I personally do not have a NeoGAF account. I've never gone there. So as far as that part of it goes, I wasn't aware of it from that perspective.
Let's rewind.
But I did learn about this whole situation, and it sounds like a real nasty thing.
NeoGAF is, love it or hate it, been the video games forum where probably the most breaking news or rumors, devs, all kinds of people partake in, and all these stories and secrets and so forth reliably come from, quite often start at NeoGAF. Even before, a lot of people attribute news to like Reddit, right?
Yeah, I mean,
NeoGAF is
started as like it was attached to a website at one point, but then it spun itself off into a separate, just giant forums tailored for video games.
And at first you had to be invited, and then eventually they opened it up. You can't have a disposable email address like Gmail, Hotmail. You can't have an email that you can just create. You have to have like a work email or a paid for email address. So like they scrutinized, to keep the riffraff out. That being said, there's a lot of riffraff on NeoGAF. NeoGAF can be a pretty brutal effing place. There's a lot of freaking trolls and haters there. I'd say it's a very not inclusive. Coming from the outside, like I have a NeoGAF account. I lurked on NeoGAF. I was always scared to partake in the community because I just felt like it was very easy for you to say something that would make you a target. So most of the time I just lurked. Anyway, that being said, this place has been credited as being a very good news source in the video game industry. Like I said, love it or hate it. And
I think that was a lot more the point a few years ago. I think that's been slowly moving away from NeoGAF.
No, but it's still been huge. I follow the NeoGAF. This is weird for me. I follow the NeoGAF new post thread bot on Twitter. So every time there's a new post, new thread, it tweets. And basically, it turned my Twitter into like a live news feed before anyone else ever posted anything. It was insane. Like they were posting shit before all the major websites. So it was I feel like it was an awesome source for knowing what's going on. And then I would go in my odd direction and like they'd be pointing you to websites, YouTube channels, whatever. I thought it was a pretty cool resource for news. That being said, NeoGAF was owned by one guy. What's his name? Tyler Fuckhead Malka. That's not his middle name.
Tyler Evilor.
That's it.
Malka.
His fucking
his handle.
And he owned the forum. Just him. No one else. Apparently he's done quite well. He's had multiple $1 million plus offers for the forum. I don't know if this is true. I heard IGN even offered him like $5 million a couple of years ago. I think he only makes money through ad revenue. Seems to be traveling around a lot. I think he's been doing okay. But apparently he's a fucking douchebag and he sexually harasses women. Part of this whole, shit going on in Hollywood with the Harvey Weinstein, is that his name?
Yeah, Weinstein.
Weinstein, the douchebag who's like basically sexually assaulted almost every famous actress in Hollywood.
Or tried to, yeah.
Or tried to. He created, that whole thing created a hashtag called Me Too movement so that women who had felt like they were sexually abused could share their story and not be afraid for repercussions. And so a bunch of people were sharing stories online and using the hashtag Me Too. And an old acquaintance of Malka, or Tyler, or whatever shithead, who runs NeoGAF, posted a story about how she felt like she was assaulted and inappropriate advances and whatnot. Not going to go into details, but it's not cool. You can look it up yourself if you're really concerned. But she never called him out. She didn't expect it to blow up or anything. And someone was like, oh, crazy. Like, I guess someone pushed and was like, who is this? And she just said, Google Evilor. And then after that, it was done.
Right.
This freaking exploded. The forum went insane. My Twitter feed was like, oh, what the hell is going on NeoGAF? There was just a stream of insane, ridiculous posts that like weren't real posts. They were people like calling him out and threatening him and asking for permaban so that they wouldn't be able to come back to the website because they're like, yeah, we're fucking done. Like, screw you. And apparently this isn't the first time the mods of the forum were in a tizzy. Most of them stepped down. And yeah, the website was up and down all weekend. It was taken offline because it was it became a freaking circus shit show. It was so entertaining to watch on Twitter. It was amazing.
To be honest, I'm actually really impressed with. Let's be honest. The video game community has a tendency to not be very good about this type of stuff.
No,
and I was actually
even towards women.
actually super happy to see
this reaction.
The reaction from the people on this forum were predominantly very much supportive of the female who came forward and told her story.
Everyone
and
was
said,
like, screw him. No, like, most people didn't even care what his response would be. They're like, yeah, no. we're done. We're done. Peace.
Absolutely.
Fuck you. Everyone was calling him out for the human piece of shit that he apparently is. And it's not
the thing, right?
First time, and apparently...
Yeah, that he's been accused of something similar to this before that came out.
In his own words, he's admitted that he fucking sexually harassed a woman.
Yeah, I think unfortunately in this case, you know, he released a statement saying, like, I didn't do anything wrong, blah, 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 blah. What worries me about this actually is that I think in his mind that he didn't, and that's scary.
Oh yeah,
when you think about it.
So after the up and down and the shutdown and the craziness going on, yeah, he issued a statement a couple days after all this shit happened, and it was kind of like a big, I didn't do anything. And everyone
it was absolutely that. Like, I was amazed. And he was just like, this was all false. Like it's a big long statement. I'm not gonna read it to everybody here.
Everyone was like, "Fuck you," and the forum blew up again. Anyway, when this first started last week, what this gets into is a bunch of the well-respected mods, which I actually follow a couple of them, and actually. One of them follows me on Twitter as well. They've gone and said, yeah, this place is never going to be the same. Fuck this guy. We're opening an LLC, so no one person owns it. And we're creating a new forum, and we're going to make open, inclusive, progressive freaking gaming forum with fuck this guy. They didn't say that, but it's called... what's it called?
I saw somebody posting about this online, and
it's in the outline here. It's Reset Era. So a bunch of the more notable mods from NeoGaf have gone here. And yeah, I pretty much unfollowed NeoGaf, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to... Woo! Excuse me. Whoa.
Rick has a quick bout of his sneezing and coughing.
Sorry. And I didn't have time to mute that. So yeah, I'm done with NeoGaf. I unfollowed the new post thread. It's a shit show there. It's not going to recover. And you know, the best part of it all is that douchebag thought his shit was worth more money than it was, and now it's worthless. And all because of him. That is such
at one point didn't somebody offer him like 10 million to buy
That's a rumor too, so I have no idea. But
I don't either.
I've heard and read that he's been offered millions multiple times, but he feels like it's worth more. So
not anymore.
Joke's on you, Jack. That is so fitting for a human piece of garbage. And I don't think that place is going to recover. And if it's just, you know what, the people who are okay with what he did and staying there and funding that piece of shit, well, you can stay at GAF, have fun at GAF with your other trolls and so forth. I really like the crew of guys. I know some of the names that of Reset Era. They're people that I follow on Twitter, and they're some of my favorite news posting Twitter people. super active, super accurate, awesome, very quick with breaking news.
Right.
So that makes me excited.
That's cool.
I cannot register for that website. It's invite only right now.
Fair enough.
Because they're manually approving all members too, right? So,
right. Well,
anyway, so that was that drama last week.
Yeah, no.
Good riddance. So many. The other funny thing about it was like when all this shit went down, all the like industry people that I saw posts that I follow on Twitter, that there was so many with the sentiment of, oh, thank God, fuck you, NeoGAF, like burn in hell. Like this, they're so happy to see it like on fire because of the grief it had caused them through, like negative press or trolls because they didn't like a game or they just became a target for no apparent reason because that's how the internet works. And a lot of it came from GAF. So,
right.
Anyway, that was pretty fun to see too.
Yeah.
Original Xbox games compatibility. Remember they announced that at E3?
That's the Xbox One. One, right?
One. The Duke, the big Xbox, it's now out.
Yeah.
So the list of games are Black, Blood Rain 2, Crimson Skies, Dead to Rights, Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden, whatever, Fusion Frenzy, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, King of Fighters, Neo Wave, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, Psychonauts, Red Faction 2, Sid Meier's Pirates, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. These games magically look cleaner and run better. I wouldn't say it's remaster fucking level of improvement, but they look, play, and run better than they do on the old Xbox. So, yeah, I have a couple of these games on my shelf still. One of my biggest gleaming holes in my pile of shame is Knights of the Old Republic. I've never beat that game.
I've never beat it either.
I probably should do that.
The first one, I feel like you could actually go through somewhat quickly, actually, if memory serves. Mike from Wabam, he has played through that game probably more than anybody I know. Beat it multiple times. So that's cool. I don't think that I would have a reason to go back and play any of these. I feel like I'm glad that this is happening because some of these were good games in their own time. I don't know how well any one of them at this point really. Maybe King of Fighters, Neo Wave, because it's kind of a 2D game. Ninja Gaiden got re-released, I think, on the PS3? Or was that 2? I don't remember. So some of these got re-released after, upscaled, etc., etc. But I think it's cool. I'm glad to see that they're doing it, and especially if you've got some of those games laying around and you were kind of, I kind of wouldn't mind playing some of those. I think it's neat, and I'm glad that they're making it happen. It's not something that's going to make me.
It's a free feature. Why not? Right?
Yeah, exactly. If you got a copy of Black laying around, that's kind of a weird game at this point, so it's always fun to go back and play that.
The Nintendo Switch now supports GameCube controllers. We didn't get into this last week. We talked about the new update, but there was a couple hidden...
There was a new update that actually removed it temporarily.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah, the 4.01 update actually removed it, but apparently it will be coming back again.
Oh, so it stopped working?
Yeah.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of the secret features that we didn't talk about last week, though, okay, if the GameCube controllers don't work, when you're docked, you can actually plug in USB wireless headsets into the dock.
Oh, right, the ones with the dongles.
Yeah, with a dongle and get wireless audio. So, for example, like some of the PlayStation ones.
Yeah.
Work, so you can use a headset wirelessly. Not ideal, but hey, if that wasn't documented, people just found out that it worked.
That's really cool.
So maybe they'll eventually support Bluetooth wireless audio. Who knows? That would be amazing, but we'll see. I don't know. I heard speculation on why that doesn't exist. is because the limit on Bluetooth devices, which kind of makes sense. But when you're playing single player, that shouldn't be an issue. But if you were maybe trying to play, I don't see anyone that would be playing a 4-player game trying to use Bluetooth audio, because then no one else can hear the game. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
Devices, I think Bluetooth has a limit of 7.
It does.
So that's why, like the PS3, you can only use 7 controllers. If you remember that weird limitation.
Only 7. I mean, there I was trying to play with 8, but I can only play with 7.
Like, God damn it. Anyway, that was funny little secrets in the last firmware update. Lego Dimensions is finally dead. We've kind of known this for a long time, as there have been no playsets, no new announcements, no nothing. But Warner Brothers finally came out saying that, there will be no more sets. The game will still be supported going forward. They'll still be selling the playsets and packs in store, and that the game is still going to work. It's not going to break or die like when Disney Infinity went to pasture. But that's unfortunate. I wanted to get into the Lego one. I never did. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because
it's so good.
It is
really good.
It is good.
I've actually got a couple play sets here that I haven't even cracked into yet. It's a big game. They did a really good job with that game. Mm-hmm. I really do like it a lot. For me, it's one of those situations now where I've got 2 cats, and if I start building and playing with these little things, I have a cat who likes to steal them and run off with them.
Yeah.
So, and now of course there's a whole cable situation where I've got to run another cable, and so it's not as easy as, just going and connecting it like it used to be.
Yeah.
And I haven't really played since then, but I really do like that game, and I do have it on the Xbox One.
When it goes on Super Blowout, I might pick it up.
I think it's worth playing, and I'm going to pick up some more play sets before they're all gone, for sure.
Continuing the obituary section of Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 128. The Kinect is officially dead.
Yeah.
I think the Kinect was officially dead 4 years ago.
That thing should have
Microsoft
should have been dead before they even created it. Microsoft should have killed it before they released it.
Yeah. Anyway, not much to say about that.
Yeah.
Besides what a catastrophe and clusterfuck that is what they're still trying to recover from in the Xbox launch.
Yeah.
Talking to your devices is freaking awesome. I just think they should have had a microphone in the controller and didn't need a big stupid camera to do it. I don't understand why they don't have all that functionality built right into the controller. Like Alexa and the Google Home Assistant, all these things, they're crazy. They're selling like hotcakes. People love these things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, maybe they were ahead of the curve behind the curve.
I think it's also, they don't have a back end to support any of it, mixed with the fact that they don't have the processor to spare in the Xbox One.
Yeah. They also really overpromised with the Kinect. Hold your item in front of the camera and scan it into the game. You can sell stuff on the marketplace. Oh, you can interact with little digital boys. Weird.
Wait, what?
You don't remember that from the Kinect reveal?
Oh, yeah.
Milo, freaking Peter
right.
Molyneux's little fucking AI boy that lived in your TV that you played with through the fucking camera. Yes, I remember
that now.
Yeah, it was sad. Rest in peace. Good riddance. Fine.
I bought my Xbox One without it and I sure as hell wasn't going to go out and spend $100 to buy it for.
Yeah, that was a fucking
nothing.
Waste of money. I bought that stupid bundle. Well, now my brother has it, and at least my niece uses it for Just Dance. So,
yeah, there was a couple things that it was really good with. Unfortunately, there was not enough of that. So
that's it for news. Public service announcements. There's just one. Sony was effing around and they haven't announced it, but Xbox has announced November's games with gold.
Ooh.
We've got on Xbox One, Trackmania Turbo, Xbox, the Tales from the Borderlands, I guess the complete
Telltale
series,
games?
which is supposed to be really good. Nights into Dreams, Xbox 360.
That was the remake,
The Saturn game
from this that they re-released.
Saturn or Dreamcast? No, I think it came on Saturn first, and then I think it was on Dreamcast. But either way,
Actually, there was never a Dreamcast version of that game.
Is it? Oh,
Believe it or not, there was the Knights game that came out on the Saturn, and it even came with its own cool 3D controller with an analog stick. And then they they didn't really remake the game, but they made what should have been sort of Knights 2, if you will, came out on the Wii. So yeah, I don't even know what version of this one on 360. They must have made a third version, unless it's a re-release of the Wii version.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah,
and then Deadfall Adventure. I don't even 360. Obviously, Xbox One back compat. No idea. I don't know anything about that game. Tales of the Borderlands supposed to be good. Trackmania is supposed to be fun, but that's some games you get with Xbox games for gold.
I hope they got a really good lineup for December for people getting Xbox Ones for Christmas.
That would seem pretty obvious, yeah. Hopefully Sony has a good lineup, but who knows? Their last month was pretty freaking good. What was I going to say? That's it for PSAs. I got a quick free-for-all. I didn't talk about it, but I had the Toy Fair here a couple weeks ago that I went to.
Oh, yeah.
There was lots of cool stuff that I wanted, but was way too expensive, and I had a really hard time justifying spending a bunch of money on plastic toys. But I did manage to pick up the Sphero BB-8.
Oh, nice.
That someone was getting rid of. It was used for $40.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, compared that thing was going for $200 last Christmas.
Wow.
So yeah, I got it for $40. I'm like, hey, why not? It was in mint shape. Like, had the box and everything. It was like brand new. But he was just done with it, and I had to bring home. It was dead. I had to charge it.
Yeah,
and pretty cool. Nico loves it. Adeline loves chasing it around. It's like, I've already got my money's worth. She comes into the office and she's like, BB, BB, BB. And she just wants to chase him around the house. So like drive him. When you get used to controlling it, it controls quite well. It uses an app on your smartphone.
Okay.
And basically, it's just drag your thumb around and it goes like a remote control car in like any direction.
Interesting.
And, it has an orientation. It's it takes a sec to get used to, but basically there's a little blue light in BB-8.
It sounds kind of like flying a drone a little bit. Like it takes a little bit of getting used to.
It's exactly like flying a drone, except for you're not flying. But basically, you just got to rotate his body until the blue light is like pointed at you, because then the controls are like up is forward, down is back, left is left, and right, and then it just feels like driving a remote control car. You might have to reorientate it every once in a while, but I'm driving it through my daughter's legs, so that's
nice.
how well I am at controlling it. And she laughs and giggles, and Nico fucking chases it and tries to kill it. It's been quite easily some of the best cash I've spent and entertaining the two of them running around the house. And it's so cute when my daughter is like, BB, BB, BB. So she kind of knows. She can't say 8. She's tried, but she's really good. She's like, BB. She knows she wants to play with them.
Nice. That's cool.
You've got one more thing to add?
Yeah, I downloaded and installed the new Xbox, the new Xbox dashboard. I think it's definitely an improvement over the last one. It feels like they took some of the cues from the PlayStation dashboard a little bit and they made it a little more simple, which I appreciate. It definitely seems to be much faster, which that was always a huge thing that drove me crazy about the Xbox dashboard. I still feel like they do a terrible job of putting your games front and center. Like I was at the top, like where is my my games or my, I don't know. They've got store and they've got everything else under the sun when you're scrolling left or right. But I just kind of want like my games. Like I get on my Xbox and I want to play my games.
Yeah.
Which I feel like there's some tweaking that needs to happen there, but I feel like it's definitely a lot better than it was, especially from a speed perspective. It's still a little bit hitchy, I find, and I don't know if that's just because it's waiting to pull in information that's like that it's streaming in and it just doesn't get there fast enough for it to be overly smooth.
And you're playing on a launch Xbox One, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, see, I have an S, so it was super smooth. Like, it seemed like a gigantic improvement, but...
Oh, no, don't get me wrong, it is a gigantic improvement over what was there before.
The S is faster than the original one, though, that's for sure.
It is. It does have a little bit extra oomph. Yeah, no, I think they're going in the right direction, that's for sure. It didn't make me want to throw my controller at my TV every time I loaded it up and just tried to do anything on it. So yeah, all in all, like thumbs up. That's going in a good direction.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
it's taking a little bit to get used to it because I'm so used to the PlayStation one, but it's
totally
hands down better than what they had.
Oh, that is very, very, very true.
Yeah.
There's just certain, I don't know, like the fact that, I don't know, and I mean, and part of it is personal preference. I know some people hate the way the PlayStation 4 one works. To me, it really makes sense. It's aesthetically, it makes, I go up here, I scroll across, like it's a slight difference from the original PlayStation 3 one. So moving from that to the one on the PlayStation 4 was such a natural progression, and they haven't needed to make huge sweeping changes to it. One thing I will say that PlayStation and Xbox both need to sort out, though, is trying to get to your free monthly stuff. It's a pain, man. Like I was on under the new dashboard, I was trying to find the new Xbox Live games for gold for the month because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And like that's really buried and underneath. Like I couldn't believe like how convoluted that was. Like that used to be it used to be the same way on the PlayStation 4 until they just added the new plus bit at the end now, and you just scroll over one and it's there.
Mm-hmm. And finding the games for gold is
it's such a pain in the butt.
That's why I always do it through the website because they just have the links all there.
Totally.
But I want to be able to do it on my console.
Yeah.
So I can go click, add to cart, checkout.
And then maybe you want to download one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. Like because of the way the Xbox interacts with my cable box, if I leave my Xbox in sleep mode so that I can download games and interact with it when it's asleep, it fucks up my recordings and I can't do anything like that. So I have to shut my Xbox off. Otherwise, it messes. Actually, if it's shut off or if it's turned on, and then it's fine. It's only if it goes to sleep that it messes with all my stuff, and I don't have that problem on the PlayStation. So for me in my house, the PlayStation is in rest mode, chilling, doing its thing, downloading stuff in the background, so I can log onto the website, send those games to PlayStation Plus, like from PlayStation Plus to my console, and they'll preload and be ready to rock and roll when I get home or whatever. And I can't really do that on my Xbox just because of the way their sleep messes with my network so much, and I don't know why that is, but it is. So yeah, all in all though, way happier with where the direction they're headed in versus the last one.
With that, Dane, I'm gonna say we have a show, my friend.
That's a show all night long.
You can follow me on Twitter at RickF,
As always, you can come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Follow us on Twitter at Geekoholics. Like us on Facebook at Geekoholics. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Geekoholics. Every like, share, subscribe, whatever helps us, obviously, and rate us on your podcast app of choice. Also helps as well. With that, keep an eye out for our Assassin's Creed Origins giveaway on PS4. A copy, the fully loaded edition, on one of those 3 social media feeds. It'll be there. We'll figure something out. And yeah, hopefully one of you guys snags that. With that, Dane, we are done.
I gotta go play Destiny 2.
I gotta go play Mario and Destiny at the same time. While it's loading, I'll play Mario.
Catch you guys later.
Peace.